So today we're going to review a product called Youth. And you know what they say, ain't no power like the power of youth, because the power of youth just don't stop.
Let's do this.
So what's happening, guys? Hope your day is going well. Back with review number 2 since the move and the job change. So this is a favorite product of mine. I actually sent it my way. They've sent me a few other of their products, and I'm really enjoying this as a type 1 diabetic with my inflammation. This has been helping out a lot. And I know it's not just the CBD isolate that's in it. So we're going to get into the ingredients so you know what the hell you're spraying or putting in your body, just because that's a big thing of mine. I want you guys to be aware of products out there and what you're actually consuming, not just the effects. And then we're going to go over the effects. So we're going to jump right into this. This is Youth by Vintage Muscle. Once again, if you're new to the channel, my name is Dave. If you like reviews like that, hit that subscribe button. It's either going to be there or there. I'd love to have you along for the ride. So let's jump right into this. I'll put the ingredient profile right off to my left here. Right on the top, we have oleic acid. Now, this is an omega-9 fatty acid, and this not only helps protect the skin, keep the moisture in there. It helps with like itching and scratching and stuff in transdermal formulas. But this is also a lipid penetration enhancer, and there's a few of them in here as far as lipid penetration enhancer. So this helps with to improve the delivery through the skin. This is one of the it's used for this, but it's not the strongest one in here. DMSO is the strongest one because it's actually used in pharmaceuticals, and it's in here. Next ingredient on here is we have CBD isolate. Now this is unlike CBD, full spectrum CBD, which has the cannabinoids, the terpenes, and the flavonoids in it to help boost the effects of CBD. This is basically just a CBD isolate, which is there to help with reducing pain, inflammation, and also anxiety. And it does the job. So there is a difference if you're looking into CBD formula as far as if you want those extra additive effects, if you want inflammation, reduced inflammation, pain, and anxiety, CBD isolate's good for that. But if you want more out of a CBD formula, you want to look for a full spectrum CBD formula. And then we have propylene glycol, which is another lipid enhancing agent, penetration agent. And this basically helps to improve the absorption across the lipid bilayer membranes within the skin. And it also helps with the absorption of keeping the skin moisturized, and helps with dry, rough, scaly, and itchy skin. So these are can be harsh ingredients. Every time that you're putting something on your skin that's trying to penetrate through your skin, you run that chance of having some irritation. So they're just basically taking care of you with all these different penetration ingredients, especially ingredients like the omega-9 and this one here that's going to help keep the skin healthy and rejuvenated, basically. Then we have the DMSO, which is the pharmaceutical enhancer that's used in like steroids. It's used in testosterone absorption and a few other things out there pharmaceutically on transdermal formulas. And basically what this does is this helps with, this is a penetration enhancer, and this literally paves the way for molecules to enter from the skin, from the outside of the skin inside, by making the inner skin layers and underlying tissue reversibly accessible. Now, what do I mean by that? So when we're sweating and when our skin's an intelligent organ. It's designed to release toxins out of the body. Whether you're sweating, whether it's detoxing your body, and it's designed to not actually come back in the other way. So that's what makes the skin intelligent. It shoots it out and doesn't allow it to come back. So you can take a shower or whatever, and you can, those toxins basically aren't come back in the skin. So this actually reverses that process by allowing the skin to take ingredients in, nanoscale molecules and molecules in general, hence reversibly accessible. So this actually enhances the ability for the skin layers and the underlying tissue to be reversibly accessible. So a great ingredient. And then we jump down to peptides. We have 2 peptides. We have a BPC157 and we have a TB500. Now these are basically pretty similar. They're both regenerative peptides, and they both help with healing tissues especially within the gastrointestinal tract, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, the bones, the nerves, heck, the spinal cord, the cornea, and also the blood vessels. The difference between this BPC157 and TB500 is TB500 heals and repairs almost every type of tissue, when BPC157 is more selective as far as in the tissue repair. So combining these two ingredients together is going to give you, hopefully, I'll go over the effects on this, but it's going to hopefully give you that regenerative, youthful feeling over a period of time, to where you're healing quicker and you're recovering a lot better. The one thing that makes TB500 different also than BPC157 is TB500 has additional effects that are similar as far as in youth to human growth hormone. So very similar. I'm not saying exact, but similar effects in the youth process as far as the body, the tissues, the organs, and all that stuff, keeping things healthy. So there it is. So how did vintage youth do? So we're getting right into this. First, what I want to get out of the way is how to use this thing. So you want to put this thing on areas of your body that doesn't have any hair. I don't care if it's your biceps, your shoulders, or what have you. Preferably, they say on the forearms, but I got hairy arms. So what I did on this is I used the shoulders to do the sprays. I just knocked my mic, sorry about that. And I also used the stomach to spray it on. So every morning, especially this one here, I use the stomach area there. It is 7 sprays in the AM and 7 sprays in the PM. That's the directions there. So I used it on training days. I used it after my workout and before bed, about an hour before bed, after a shower. Could be 2 hours before bed, doesn't matter, just in the PM time. And then on non-training days, to make this last, I sometimes decided not to take it in the morning and only took it one time after the shower at night. Now, what you want to be careful on this thing here, if you have animals, so I have my little pug that's sleeping next to me. Hope you didn't hear her snoring, but she's always snoring away. She's a sweetheart. She's cute. But one thing you want to be careful if you have animals is spraying this on areas where, if you're petting your animals or touching their animals, you don't want to get this on. If you have kids and you're giving them hugs, like we should be hugging and kissing our kids all the time. If you're not, shame on you. So, so you want to make sure that you're not transferring this on to someone else unless it's another adult. This doesn't have any ingredients in here that are going to cause any kind of bad adverse side effects. As far as I've been checking online, all this stuff, everything seems to be safe. The safety protocols are all there. They did some tests on this thing, and I didn't find anything bad about these ingredients. But you do want to be careful and putting it on areas where you could transfer it to someone. So that's preferably, I put it on the stomach, and preferably on the shoulders will do pretty good, and that's 7 sprays. Now, when you spray this thing, very, very important. So you can either spray it like this. So we can do this. Sorry. Full on like that, or you can just do half sprays like that. So it all depends on how much you want to put in your body. To make this thing last, I'll wash that off afterwards, but I don't want to get on anything, so rub it in. To make this thing last like it's been lasting for me, it's a month for me, and I still have that much left. I've been just doing a quick 7 sprays. So there is no kind of like, it just says sprays on here. If you want to go full on with it, then go ahead and go full on with it. It's just up to you. But that's just the way I've been using it there. And what else on this thing? Oh, the effects. Now I just went over the sprays there and how to use it. Let's go over the effects. So what I love about this thing, I'm a type 1 diabetic, for those that don't know. Inflammation is a curse for diabetics. Type 2 or type 1. Actually, for me, type 1, I feel like type 1s, even though that we don't produce anything from our pancreas as far as insulin, we have it better than type 2s, because type 2 people produce insulin, but they just can't absorb it. So they could actually be left with sugars and ketones in their blood, to where they're not being absorbed into the cells and floating around the cells, and just feel like crap. So it happens to me too, but I have the opportunity, if I'm on it, like I do all the time, I'm pricking my fingers all throughout the day. I'd say could go from 5 to 10 times a day, depending on my stress levels, depending on my food and my eating habits. but I have the opportunity to actually correct it. So if I'm 130, I know 1 unit of fast acting insulin handles 30 units. I give myself 1 unit to bring myself down. Type 2 diabetics don't have that luxury. They have to take metformin or berberine or something like that. And like I said, theirs isn't an issue with the pancreas not secreting insulin. Theirs is with the cells not absorbing insulin. Just a little kind of fact check there for you guys, the difference between type 1 and type 2. So getting into the inflammation side of this, the inflammation has been reduced by 50 to 75% on me. And that is a big, big difference. I've been taking this for almost a month, and my training is different. It's kind of interesting. I had to sit back and say, oh my God, I'm really actually coming in here and I'm pounding it out every day like I'm 10 years younger. I mean, it feels really, really good in the gym. So I personally have noticed a big difference. Now keep in mind, you have to eat right. You still have to stretch. You still have to warm up. But if you do all those things right now and you're suffering from inflammation, joint pain, and stuff like that, whether it's this or another CBD isolate formula out there, it's worth it to give it a try, because that inflammation, if you guys are suffering from it now, you know that actually brings everything down. That brings your mindset, your drive, your moving forward, the ability to, when you're stuck in a bad place in the moment, to focus on getting forward and moving and just getting up and going. All these things that kind of bring you down, which is inflammation and pain and anxiety as well. So I'm a believer in the CBD isolate there, as far as for people that may suffer from certain things and certain elements like that. So like I said, with this or with something else, if you haven't tried it, as far as a CBD isolate formula, I guarantee I've tried the CBD isolate. I feel the peptides in this thing. So this is going to work different than a regular CBD isolate, because I literally feel the extra enhancement above and beyond the CBD oil. And from what I understand, the amount of peptides, for those that want to know, in this product, it's not listed on here, but on their site, I think it was 3,600 micrograms, if I'm saying that right. 36, or was it 36,000 micrograms? It was one of those. So it's micrograms. I didn't calculate and try to figure out what that equals out in milligrams or grams or something like that. But I mean, it's a nice little dose there. I'm not also familiar with dosing peptides as far as injectable peptides, so can't give you that kind of information. So don't ask me. So this does help with the inflammation, and it does help with the anxiety for me, especially at night. So it doesn't put me to sleep, but it helps me dial down. So I can dial down real good, and I go to sleep, and I sleep very well. I wake up refreshed, pretty much ready to go. I train in the morning, and then I spray this on afterwards, and then this helps me with the DOMS response, that I may incur, or inflammation I may incur or run into with the up and down sugars that I have all day. I got to do it like this, up and down sugars. I used to break dance. Trying to think if there's anything else that I didn't go over on this thing. It has become one of my favorites at my age. I'm 54. A lot of you guys aren't going to need this, but for me, this has worked for me. And I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown. I hope this review actually helped you guys out understanding some of these ingredients, for one thing, because you're going to see some of this stuff. You're going to hear about peptides and all that stuff, and CBD. So knowing the difference between CBD isolate and full spectrum CBD, totally different. And some of the transdermal ingredients here, especially the DMSO. If you are taking a pharmaceutical transdermal, more than likely, if you look at the ingredient profile, that's going to be on it. So I hope this review helped you understand this product and some of these ingredients. Other than that, I'll put the link to the product down below, to Ventures Muscle's website, along with that discount code. And I'm going to get going. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time on the channel.